So, what is Reflex, and more importantly, why should you care? To get right to the point, Reflex is an arena FPS game currently in alpha. As of this video, it is running patch 0.36.4. Reflex is being developed by a small Australian indie dev team called Turbo Pixel Studios, of which some members were involved in a well-known Quake 3 arena mod called CPMA, or Challenge Pro Mode Arena. Unsurprisingly, Reflex is a spiritual successor to CPMA, which is built within its own modern game engine. CPMA was a mod that took Quake 3 gameplay and turned it to 11, with an array of weapon, gameplay and movement changes which drastically altered how the game was approached. The mod might have looked like Quake 3 on the surface, but it certainly plays very differently. Reflex itself is aptly described as blisteringly fast. When watching new players who have not fully grasped the depth of the fantastic movement system, it may make the game look like an average first-person shooter, but when providing two top-tier duelists, the gameplay can be almost incomprehensibly fast and frantic to the uninitiated. So this guide can help you understand the game's fundamentals. For this introduction, we'll be looking at the most current popular competitive game mode, Duel. The concept is simple: 10 minutes to score more kills or frags against your opponent than he can score against you. However, in practice, seldom a thing is ever as easy as it sounds. The maps contain weapon, armour and health which give the player offensive and survival capabilities. The main focus of the duel is to be able to control the map so you can take these items and hence deny them to your opponent. In order to do this, not only is your aim and movement important, but also the kind of deep strategic thinking you might need to use in an RTS game, where positioning and resource management are absolutely vital in succeeding. Improving these skills and strategies can often take years, as the pace of the game dictates you can take instantaneous decisions weighing up the odds of success when deciding each and every move you make. So, what are these survival and offensive tools which are available on the map for you to take?
The Mega Health gives 100 points of health and won't respawn until the person who picked it up has taken 100 points of damage. When that happens, the 30-second respawn time will start. The 50 health bubble gives you 50 health, but will not take you higher than 100 health. The 25 bubble gives you 25 health, and also will not take you above 100 total health. The 5 bubbles give you 5 health, but this can take you above 100 life. The way the armors work is quite tricky, but basically the red armor gives you 150 points of armor, the yellow gives you 100 points of armor, and the green armor gives you 50 points. The red can take you all the way up to 200, the yellow can't take you past 150, and the green armors can't take you past 100. The armor shards will give you 5 points of armor each. For the starting weapon we have the burst gun. It fires 3 projectiles which do 10 damage each. The shotgun fires 12 hit scan pellets, each doing 6 damage. The grenade launcher fires a bouncing projectile which explodes after 1.5 seconds or after it hits an enemy, dealing 100 damage in a splash radius. The plasma gun is an automatic weapon which fires projectiles that deal 12 damage each and can be used for plasma climbing. The iron cannon is a tracking weapon which fires a hit scan beam dealing 6 damage per tick at a rapid rate. The rocket launcher fires projectiles that deal 100 damage per hit in a splash radius, as well as being useful for rocket jumping. The bolt rifle is a hit scan weapon that does 80 damage per hit. It can be used over long distances and has a substantial reload time, making it a risky weapon for close range fights. The movement. There are plenty of guides and tutorials out there to show you how to pull off these individual tricks, but here's what Reflex has to offer. Double jumps and triple jumps can be used to gain height on stairs and ledges. Teleport jumps can be performed while going through a teleporter to gain some extra height and some extra distance. Ceiling jumps can be performed using a surface just above your head to gain some extra height. Circle jumps allow you to cross large gaps and get a good amount of starting speed. Strafe jumping allows you to pick up speed over time in a straight line. Bunny hopping allows you to gain speed as you turn corners. This works differently to strafe jumping, but you can combine the two to move around the map.
A Reflex duel has 3 states. Firstly, when a player is out of control. This is where they've not been able to pick up the major items, red armour and mega. Here they are looking to survive through taking advantageous engagements such as dealing unreturned rail damage. Also trying to take yellow and green armours for damage mitigation. Secondly, there is split control, where neither player has a clear stack advantage. Stack is total effective health including armour and health. This situation often occurs at the beginning of a game, where one player goes to red armour and the other player goes to take mega. The final state is in control, when a player has both red armour and mega. They can bully the opponent off other items. The player in control has a challenger weighing up the odds between chasing for kills or trying to extend their reach of control by controlling more items, such as yellow armour or more weapons. This difference between a really aggressive or controlling style of play is what really defines the player's playstyle. Last but not least, we have play positioning and contesting for items. Previously we described the 3 states of play. When an item, such as Mega, is soon to be spawning, the player with control will want to approach this item. However, if the other player can take an advantageous position that allows them to do serious amount of damage, this can enable them to contest for that item, or even possibly force the previously in control player to fall back due to being at risk of taking even more damage. This ebb and flow of combat surrounding major items is where the game can be won or lost, largely based on how well each player can position themselves for each fight. So now, we've discussed the major gameplay elements in Reflex, but why should you care? Well, Reflex is a first person shooter at its purest form. There's no classes, and all players start each round on equal footing with the same weapons, health and armour. 1v1 means teammates who may be underperforming or even purposely trying to ruin the experience will not be a bother. The 1v1 experience also offers a very high level of personal accountability. There's no one to blame but yourself. This style of gameplay can be very daunting, but ultimately very rewarding too, as you learn and improve. But not only that, the weapons all have a role and a purpose. There isn't 10 automatic guns all firing bullets at slightly different rates and damage. The gameplay has been refined for well over a decade, and this means that even as a new game, the competitive scene is already lively with regular high skill cash prize tournaments. Finally, the relatively short round time of 10 minutes without a lengthy queue or selection process means that you can jump in and have a number of duels in a short space of time. Games can't drag on for over an hour, where you might actually be spending a lot of that time not really playing the game or even learning much at all. Hopefully this short introduction to the game has been helpful and at least given you a high level overview of Reflex. If you want to learn more, there are plenty of other great online video tutorials. For a start, I'll link a couple in the video's description. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll have more content for you very soon.